Welcome to another episode of Secret Archives. Today, we journey into the chilling stories of the gods who turned evil, those divine beings who were once revered but fell into darkness, betrayal, and destruction. Some fell from grace due to their own arrogance, others were betrayed and turned into villains, and some were always destined to bring destruction. From the vengeful Titan Cronus to the wrathful Set, the betrayer Loki, and the feared Lucifer, this is the dark history of the gods who turned against their own. Cronus, the Titan who feared his own fate. Before Zeus and the Olympian gods, there was Cronus, the ruler of the Titans in Greek mythology. He was once seen as a savior, overthrowing his tyrannical father Uranus to free his siblings. Yet his desire for power soon turned him into a tyrant himself. Cronus had learned of a prophecy. Just as he had overthrown his father, one of his own children would one day do the same to him. Fearing this fate, Cronus took a monstrous action. He swallowed each of his newborn children whole, imprisoning them inside his stomach. His wife, Rhea, could not bear to lose another child, so she tricked Cronus by hiding their youngest son Zeus and giving Cronus a stone wrapped in cloth instead. Zeus later grew strong enough to challenge Cronus, forced him to regurgitate his siblings, and led the Olympians in a great war against the Titans. In the end, Cronus was overthrown and banished to Tartarus, forever remembered as a paranoid tyrant consumed by his own fear of destiny. Loki, the trickster turned destroyer. In Norse mythology, Loki was neither entirely good nor entirely evil, but he played both sides until his true nature was revealed. At first, Loki was a cunning and mischievous trickster, using his intelligence to help the gods of Asgard. But as time passed, his pranks became crueler and his betrayals more severe. Loki's greatest crime was orchestrating the death of Balder, the most beloved of the gods. Through deceit and manipulation, Loki ensured Balder was struck down, plunging Asgard into mourning. For this act, Loki was bound in a cave, punished by having venom drip onto his face until the end of time. Yet Loki's story does not end with imprisonment. During Ragnarok, the prophesied end of the gods, Loki breaks free and leads the enemies of Asgard into battle. He fights against Heimdall, the guardian of the gods, and they kill each other. Loki, once a companion to Odin and Thor, had become their ultimate betrayer and the bringer of doom. Set, the god of chaos and betrayal. In Egyptian mythology, Set was initially a respected god associated with strength, storms, and the desert. He was not inherently evil, but his thirst for power and jealousy led him down a dark path. The most infamous act of Set was his betrayal and murder of his brother Osiris, the god of the afterlife. According to legend, Set tricked Osiris into lying inside a beautifully crafted chest, which he then sealed and threw into the Nile, drowning his brother. With Osiris gone, Set declared himself the ruler of Egypt. However, Osiris's wife Isis recovered his body and conceived a son, Horus, who grew up to challenge Set. After a long and brutal battle, Horus defeated Set and reclaimed the throne. Set was cast out, forever remembered as a god of chaos and treachery. Though he was once revered, his legacy became that of a destructive force, feared rather than worshipped. Lucifer, the fallen angel. One of the most famous figures of divine betrayal comes from Christian and Islamic traditions. Lucifer, the brightest of all angels who fell from grace. He was created as a being of immense beauty and power, yet his pride led to his downfall. Lucifer, whose name means lightbringer, refused to bow before humanity, believing himself superior. His arrogance turned to rebellion as he led an uprising against God. A great war in heaven ensued, and Lucifer and his followers were cast out, falling to the depths of hell, where he became known as Satan, the adversary. His story has become the ultimate tale of pride, rebellion, and punishment. Once a radiant divine being, Lucifer is now seen as the ruler of hell, the tempter of souls, and the eternal enemy of goodness. His transformation from a beloved angel to the Prince of Darkness remains one of the most powerful and enduring stories of a god turning evil. Huitzilopochtli, the Aztec god of war and sacrifice. In Aztec mythology, Huitzilopochtli was the supreme war god, but his rise to power was steeped in bloodshed. Unlike other gods who fell from grace, Huitzilopochtli was always a deity of violence, but his transformation into a feared figure came from the scale of his brutal demands. According to myth, when his mother became pregnant, his siblings sought to kill her in shame. Huitzilopochtli was born in full battle armor, slaying his siblings in a merciless display of power. He became the chief deity of the Aztecs, but his influence came with a terrible cost: endless human sacrifices. The Aztecs believed they needed to feed him blood and hearts to keep the sun rising. Though he was their protector, he was also their greatest terror, demanding more and more sacrifices to maintain his divine power. His story is a reminder that even gods worshipped as heroes can become monstrous in their need for devotion and control. Power, ambition, and destiny. These are the forces that led once great deities into darkness. Whether through fear, betrayal, pride, or cruelty, the gods who turned evil remind us that myths are not just about light and glory, but also about downfall and destruction. Do you think these gods were truly evil, or were they just victims of fate? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive into mythology's darker side, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more hidden legends and forgotten stories from Secret Archives. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.